The tides of war had shifted. Admiral Yi Sun-sin's miraculous victory at Myeongnyang had shattered Japan's control over the seas, and supply lines were crumbling. Meanwhile, on land, the combined forces of Korea and Ming China launched an unrelenting counteroffensive to drive the invaders out for good. The once mighty Japanese war machine now teetered on the edge of collapse, but desperate warriors do not go quietly. Would Korea and its allies be able to break Japan's grip before it was too late? Despite Hideyoshi's insistence on continuing the war, Japan's position in Korea was growing increasingly dire. The defeat at Myeongnyang had left their forces stranded, with resupply efforts now reliant on whatever supplies could be carried overland. The once bold samurai now found themselves outnumbered, outgunned, and forced into defensive strongholds across Korea. At the same time, infighting among Japan's commanders grew worse. Konishi Yukinaga and Kato Kiyomasa, already bitter rivals, clashed over the best course of action. Konishi secretly pushed for peace, while Kato and Shimazu Yoshihiro sought one last desperate offensive. Meanwhile, in Japan, Hideyoshi's health was rapidly deteriorating, and with it, his dream of conquest. Emboldened by Admiral Yi's triumph at sea, the Ming-Korean coalition launched an all-out campaign to reclaim lost territory. The goal was clear: drive Japan out of Korea for good. The first major siege of the final phase of the war, where the Allies surrounded Kato Kiyomasa's fortress at Ulsan. The battle was brutal, with the Japanese defenders starving and freezing in the harsh winter. Kato himself nearly died, but the fortress held just barely. As Japanese forces withdrew to the southern coastal strongholds, the Allies reclaimed vital cities, including Gyeongju and Sacheon, forcing the enemy into an increasingly desperate position. The war was no longer about conquest. It was now a struggle for survival. By the summer of 1598, Konishi Yukinaga's forces were trapped in the fortress city of Suncheon, their supplies dwindling. The Ming-Korean forces launched a massive siege, bombarding the city with artillery and cutting off escape routes. However, unlike at Ulsan, there was no relief force coming. Konishi knew Japan was abandoning the war. As the Allies prepared for their final assault, word arrived from Japan. Hideyoshi was dead. With their leader gone, the remaining Japanese generals had only one order: retreat. As the Japanese prepared their retreat by sea, Admiral Yi Sun-sin and Ming Admiral Chen Lin moved to cut them off. On December 16, 1598, the Battle of Noryang became the final climactic engagement of the Imjin War. Despite being outnumbered, Yi's navy once again outmaneuvered the Japanese fleet, inflicting devastating losses. But victory came at a cost. Yi Sun-sin was struck by a stray bullet and died on his flagship. His final words: "The battle is at its height. Do not announce my death. Beat the war drums. We must win." With Yi's sacrifice, the battle ended in a decisive Korean-Ming victory. The war was over. After 6 years of brutal conflict, the Japanese invasion of Korea had ended in failure. Hideyoshi's grand vision had crumbled, leaving Japan in turmoil. Korea had survived, but at a devastating cost. Cities lay in ruins, farmland was scorched, and countless lives were lost. The war's scars would linger for generations. Hope you enjoyed this series and stay tuned for more. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to support this channel. Or don't, it's really up to you, and thanks for watching.